So, earlier you had 2 lectures on Brahmaspota Siddhanta of Brahmagupta. So, now is the third part, which primarily deals with algebra. So, in Brahmagupta's Brahmaspota Siddhanta, which is a voluminous work, the 18th chapter is called Kuttakaradhyaya. So, we saw about Kuttaka also discussed by Aryabhata. So, Brahmagupta starts this chapter, which contains almost 100 plus verses, with the Kuttaka algorithm. We will briefly present that Kuttaka algorithm, and then after making some observations, we will proceed with what is known as Dhanarna Shunya Sankalanam. So, Dhana means a positive quantity, Rina means a negative quantity, Shunya is 0. So, operations with positive, negative and 0. So, this has been discussed in great detail by Brahmagupta, and then we will also discuss Brahmagupta's method for dealing with surds. So, surd, as you know, is square root of a non-square number, and we will discuss Ekavarna Samikaranam and Anekavarna Samikaranam. So, Varna here refers to an algebraic quantity, say x. So, Ekavarna, so you have equations on both sides, so with one unknown. So, how do we equate them and solve them? So, he gives a general approach and then discusses a few examples. So, Anekavarna, so is many unknowns. So, how do we handle equations with many unknowns? And Bhavita refers to the product of 2 unknowns, and he also discusses approach by which you will be able to solve. See, what is more interesting is to note that Brahmagupta gives a general procedure. See, algebra was not developed. So, we are talking about 6th, 7th century, and of course, this is a very important problem. So, Varga Prakriti and Bhavana principle. Varga Prakriti is basically a second order indeterminate equation, and Brahmagupta gives a very important principle called Bhavana principle, and this has various applications. It will also be dealt with by Professor Srinivas, and then we will have a couple of examples. So, he starts this chapter with this shloka giving the importance of Kuttakara. So, prayena yatah prashnaha Kuttakara drite nashakyante jnatum vakshyami tatah Kuttakaram saha prashnaihi. So, in fact, he gives the Kuttakara algorithm and then about 20-25 verses. So, giving various kinds of problems with various examples from drawn from different disciplines. So, Kuttakara drite means without Kuttakara nashakyante. So, it is almost impossible to handle equations with unknowns, and therefore, he says I describe this Kuttakara saha prashnaihi with various illustrations. So, he says Kuttaka Karnadhana Avyakta Madhyaharana Ekavarna Bhavitakaihi Acharyaha Tantravidam Nyataihi Varga Prakrityacha. So, this verse basically summarizes the various topics that he is going to discuss in this particular chapter, which is called Kuttakaradhyaya. So, Kuttaka refers to the first order indeterminate equation, and then as I was mentioning, so Karnadhanena. So, Ka is 0, Rina is negative, Dhana is positive. So, operations with all that. Avyakta Sankalana. So, Madhyamaharana is basically an equation, quadratic equation, and how do we find Madhyama is the middle term. So, the coefficient of x and x, both are referred to as Madhyama. That depends on the context, and we have to figure out the meaning. Ekavarna Samikarana, Bhavita and Varga Prakriti, these are the various topics discussed in this chapter called Kuttakara. To very quickly recall, so this is the Kuttakara problem. We have a number n, and this number can be expressed in 2 forms, Ax plus Ra and By plus Rb. So, Ra and Rb are called as agras. So, if Ra is greater than Rb, A is called Adhikagra Hara and B is called Unagra Hara. Hara in the sense, so if you want to find out Ax, you have to divide n by A, and of course, Ra and Rb are the remainders. This is just to get the terms clear. So, when we see the verse, so A and B are referred to as Adhikagrahara and Unagrahara respectively. So, the problem is to find out n x y given A R A B R B. So, this is the problem. So, we have 3 unknowns and we have 2 equations, and therefore this forms an example of indeterminate equation of the first order. In fact, the algorithm which has been presented by Brahmagupta in 3 verses are far more clear than what has been discussed. Aryabhatta also discussed in 2 verses, but it was a bit terse, and here we beautifully lays down the algorithm. So, adhikagra bhagaharat unagra bhagaharitat shesham yat tat paraspara bhaktam labdham adhodhaha prithak sthapyam. So, adhodhaha prithak sthapyam means one below the other we need to place. So, what is to be placed? So, paraspara hritam, quantities which are mutually divided, so they have to be placed one below the other. But then where do we start with? So, he says adhikagra bhagaharat unagra bhagahara. A is adhikagra bhagahara and unagra bhagahara. So, you start with A divided B and then you proceed. So, with the remainders you keep on dividing, and all the quotients that you get are to be placed one below the other. Then comes in fact the term mati was used by Aryabhatta to find out a quantity. At some stage of the division you stop and the remainder has to be multiplied by some quantity, and then the difference has to be added or subtracted, so that this quantity is divisible by the previous remainder. So, this has been very clearly stated here by Brahmagupta. Shesham tatha ishta gunitam, he calls it as ishta. So, Aryabhatta call it as mati. Ishta gunitam yatha agriyor antarena sanyuktam. See, agra, as I was mentioning, refers to the remainder. Antara is difference, antarena sanyuktam. So, when it is added or subtracted, shuddhyati. Shuddhyati here means divides without any remainder. That is what is meant by shuddhyati. Then he says that gunaka, so whichever is the multiplier, ishta has to be placed below. Labdhancha means this when this is divided, so whatever be the quotient, that is called as labdhi, that also has to be placed. And then so sthapyam upantya gunaha. So, how do we, so having placed this valli one below the other, so for instance if we see this problem, so 2 1 1 1 2 4. So, 2 is the ishta and 4 is the labdhi. So, 2 1 1 1. So, these are the quotients and they are placed one below the other. What is to be done? So, that operation is described by Brahmagupta here very clearly, and this operation was missing in Aryabhatta's verses and it had to be supplied by the commentator Bhaskara. So, here so he says labdhancha antyat upantya gunaha. Upantya gunaha svordhve antyayutaha. See, so 2 into 1 plus 4, so that has to be placed up, so that is 6. So, this is the kind of description that Brahmagupta very clearly gives. Agrantaha hinagra cheda bhajitaha shesham. So, you go on and adhikagra yutam bhavatyagram. So, this algorithm is more or less same which was explained while this Aryabhatiya was discussed. So, one or two things which were not very clearly stated then, so I will just supply those details and then I will move on to other topics. So, here, so let us choose the example 34x plus 2 is equal to n and 13y plus 10 is also equal to n. So, here of the two remainders, so this 10 is larger and therefore 13 will be called as adhikagra bhagahara. So, 2 is smaller and therefore it is called unagra bhagahara. So, so the prescription was, so adhikagra bhagahara had to be divided by unagra bhagahara. So, you divide this, the quotient is 0, keep that, so you get 13. So, and then you divide by 34, hereafter it is a mutual division. So, this is dividing this, you get 2 and 8 is the remainder. So, this divides, you get 1. So, you get all the quotients. So, you arrange them in this order one below the other. So, after the quotient, so the last remainder is 2 here, and at this stage what you need to do is, so you have to take a decision whether you have to add or subtract the difference of the remainders. So, the statement was it has to be added if it is even and it has to be subtracted if it is odd. So, the number of quotients here is even and therefore, so you have to find out This T we refer to as Mati, here he calls it as Ishta. So, the last remainder into T plus the difference of the remainders. So, this should be such that T is chosen such that, so this is divisible by the previous remainder. So, this is the prescription, and obviously T is equal to 2 satisfies, and what we get is 12. Once you get this 12, so you have to divide by 3 and the Labdhi is 4, that is placed here, then it is just this. So, Antyad Upantya Guna, add to this, you get 6, you complete the Valli, you reach here. So, having reached there, so the two numbers, one is called the Urdhva Rashi, Rashi is number, Urdhva Rashi, Adho Rashi. So, all that needs to be done is the Urdhva Rashi has to be taken, and that should be divided by this Unagra Bhagahara, fine. So, this 36 has to be divided by 34, the remainder is 2, and this basically gives the, see, y. So, this into 2 plus 10 gives you 36. So, that is the desired number. So, it just happened that it is 36. So, okay. One interesting thing that we need to do is to observe that this process can be terminated at whichever stage we like. So, in fact, the rationale will be explained by Professor Sriram, and here the point that I want to make is, so this in this I have done the same problem, and I have at this stage we stopped in the previous thing. So, now I am just continuing one more division, and what we get is remainder 1. In fact, Bhaskara prescribed that you can continue till 1, but this can be terminated at any stage. So, if you continue this till 1, so the number of quotients that you obtain is odd. So, therefore, here we have to subtract the difference in the remainders, 10 and 2 is 8, and T has to be chosen again by the same principle, and T is 10 and the Labdhi is 1. So, you place this, and what you get here is, so the numbers are different here, but again the same principle. So, you will be able to get the number 36. So, I do the other operation. So, you stop before, see in the previous thing. So, first I took with 2, then I added one more, here I just stop at 3 itself. So, you terminate at 3 and this becomes much simpler, and the number of steps is less. So, you get 36. So, the point is the mutual division can be terminated at any stage of the division, and by choosing up, that in fact explains why it is called Mati. So, you can make an intelligent choice at any point. So, the basic point is you have to reduce the magnitude of the numbers, and at some stage if you are able to see that you will be able to get an appropriate Mati, you can terminate the process and you can finish the problem. Okay. And as I was mentioning, the algorithm has been described by later people, so Mahavira, Bhaskara and so on, and the basic thing which has been given by Aryabhata has been slightly modified by later people, and various artifices have been invented by the later mathematicians. So, which will be discussed in other lectures. So, with this, with only one more observation, so I just proceed further. So, this is something which is considered to be a landmark achievement in the field of pure mathematics, so solving an indeterminate equation and clearly laying out an algorithm for doing so. So, this is one important thing to note. The other is, so if one solution is obtained, so for instance, if you look at this last point, so if you are able to find out x y is equal to alpha beta is one solution, then x is alpha plus bm and y is beta plus am is also a solution for any integer m, and therefore, if you have obtained one solution, you have obtained infinite number of solutions. Fine. Now, I move on to the second section of this Kutakara, wherein he discusses the Sankalana. So, Sankalana, Vyavakalana, Gunana, Harana. So, these are the 4 fundamental operations. Sankalana is addition, Vyavakalana is subtraction, Gunana is multiplication, and Harana is division. So, when we have quantities which are positive, negative and 0, so how do we conduct these 4 basic operations? So, how do we understand that? So, in fact, he has very clearly laid down. So, this has to be understood and appreciated. So, thinking of the times in which this text has been composed. So, very clearly he gives out all the operations. So, let me give one or two examples, taking one or two verses and explain. So, the rest I will leave it, because we have to cover a few more things. So, for instance, the first verse of this section starts with the operation Sankalana. Brahmagupta says, Dhanayor dhanam rinam rinayoho. So, dhana is positive quantity, rina is negative quantity, dhanam. So, dhanayor dhanam, so when you have two positive quantities, you add them, you get positive, negative plus negative is negative, rinam rinayoho, rinayoho when you deal with two rinas, so the resultant will be rina. Dhanarinayoho antaram, so when you have positive and negative, it can be positive or negative. Then he says, so consider 0. So, rinam aikyancha dhanam rinam dhana shunyayoho, shunya is 0. So, when you deal with 0, so positive plus 0 will be positive, negative plus 0 will be negative, and finally he says shunyayoho shunyam. So, this will look so trivial to us, but laying it down, so when things were not formulated well, so is something which is very interesting. So, then Vyavakalana, so he devotes two verses. Unam adhikad vishodhyam dhanam. Unam is smaller quantity. So, adhika, so is larger. So, unam adhikad vishodhyam. Adhikat, when you have a much larger quantity and you subtract a smaller one, what you will get is positive. So, negative minus negative will be negative, and then so he goes on, shunya vihinam rinam rinam. So, shunya is 0, rinam a negative quantity. So, shunya vihinam, so what you will have is rinam, and shunya vihinam dhanam, so you will have dhanam positive, and shunyam akasham. See, akasha, as I was telling in Bhuta Sankhya, refers to space, and all synonyms will be employed to refer to 0. So, kham, shunyam, akasham all will be employed. So, shunya minus shunya will be shunya. So, then shodhyam yada dhanam rinat. Dhanam is positive quantity, rinat if you want to subtract, what you will get is rinam. So, and rinam dhanadva, so all that has been, all cases have been dealt with in great detail. Then the gunana, so, rinam rinam dhanayoho ghataha, dhanam rinayoho. So, rina is negative, rinayoho is if you have negative into negative, so that will be positive. See, dhanam will be the resultant if you deal with two negatives. So, here it is gunana. So, all those things have been stated, and so if you look at this last part of this verse, kha shunyorva vadhaha shunyam. See, kham is 0 and shunya is also 0. So, he says kha shunyoho vadhaha, 0 into 0 is 0. Then the last part, so harana, so dhana bhaktam dhanam, rina hritam rinam. So, dhana bhaktam dhanam, see dhanam, so dhana is positive. So, dhana bhakta positive, oh I made a mistake here, positive by positive should be positive here, okay. So, then negative by negative, so that is positive again. So, 0 by 0, so this also he has defined as kham khabhaktam kham. So, this we know today is undefined, but it has been defined as 0. So, bhaktam rinena dhanam, so positive by negative, so negative by positive, so all that has been stated. So, then khodhritam rinam dhanam va tachedam, this is a very important thing. So, he introduces a term called tacheda. So cheda is division. So when 0 becomes the divisor, see, tachedam means it refers to a quantity wherein we find the divisor to be 0. Tat here refers to 0. So it should be a bahuvrihi compound. Tat chedam yasya. So for which 0 is the divisor. So he has introduced the term called tacheda. And so the other part is 0 is the numerator and any other quantity is the denominator. That also has been stated to be tacheda. So with this he basically describes all the operations which can be done with positive, negative and 0. Then this karani refers to surd. So operations with surds. This also he discusses in great detail. I will give only one example here. Ishtodhrita karani padayutihi. So this, suppose you want to add or subtract two surds. So he gives a interesting method. He says ishtena udhrita means you can divide it by some choice, so which will make the operation convenient to you. So ishtena udhrita, so divided by this, padam is square root, yuti is add. So you have two numbers, so AB whose square root has to be added or subtracted. So you divide by this and then he says take the square of that and then multiplied ishta gunita, this quantity C whichever you chose you multiply and then take the whole square root. So this is what has been stated, antara kritirva. So and this will give you the difference or sum of the two surds. So there are a few more verses so which deal with the square roots. Then I move on to the Ekavarna and Anekavarna Samikarana. So the general principle is laid out by Brahmagupta in the very first verse of this section. He says Avyaktantara bhaktam vyastam rupantaram same avyaktaha. So suppose you have an equation of this form. So Ax plus C is equal to Bx plus D. So this coefficient, so I said x is avyakta. So vyakta is something whose form is known. Sometimes he uses the word rupa, sometimes he uses the word vyakta. So rupa means actually a constant, so whose form is known. See, so in contrast with avyakta, so whose value is unmanifest, rupa is manifest form which actually refers to the constant. So for instance D and C will be called as rupa. So that is why he says rupantaram. See the difference of the two rupas, so D minus C. So vyastam in the sense, so this has to be taken the other order, okay. So D minus C, it is in this sense he uses the word vyastam. So avyaktantara is A minus B. So the coefficient of the unknown quantity is also referred to as avyakta, that is why I was saying. So this in the verse avyaktantara refers to the difference between the coefficients of the unknown quantities A minus B. Bhaktam is divided. What is to be divided? The rupantara. So that gives the avyakta. Same here refers to when you want to find equate this and then obtain the solution. Same, okay, samikarane, that is what it means. Then when you deal with quadratic, Brahmagupta gives this Varga Chaturgunitanam. Before he moves on to the examples, he lays down the principles. So what is to be done? That is very interesting here. Varga Chaturgunitanam Rupanam. So suppose you consider an equation like this. So Ax square plus Bx plus we usually say C. So he says, he puts it on the other side. So this is the general way in which such things have been handled. So if you look at the procedure that has been laid down, so you take rupa to one side and the unknowns on one side, so and then handle this. So this C is referred to as rupa. So varga chaturgunitanam rupanam. See, so this varga here refers to the coefficient of x square, okay. So chaturgunita is multiplied by 4, rupa, so what you get is basically 4ac. So varga chaturgunitanam rupanam Madhyavarga Sahitanam. See, Madhya is this middle term, so Varga is square, Sahita is this, so 4ac plus b square. Moolam, so you have to take the square root. Madhyena Vunam, so again minus b. So Vargodhritam. See, Varga Dvigunodhritam. See, Varga here again refers to a, Dvigunodhritam by 2. So this is basically the formula minus b plus minus. So that is which so here, so it has been stated it in this particular form, and having laid down this, he gives a few examples. Dvyunam adhika masa shesham, adhimasa shesham, trihritam saptadhikam, dvisangunitam, adhimasa sheshatulyam yada tada yugagatam kathaya. So this is a very common problem which one encounters in astronomy. So this concept of adhikamasa, so which some of you would be familiar with, so we have to, when we match this lunar and solar calendar, so the number of days which will be constituted by 12 lunar months, so will be falling short by about 11 days in a year, and therefore, so every 2 and 3/4 of a year we introduce a on an average adhikamasa. So it is a certain problem connected with that. In that context, he says adhimasa shesham. Shesham is the remainder of a particular adhikamasa in a year. Adhimasa shesham. So he says dvyunam. Dvyunam means dvigunam. So remove 2, x minus 2. Trihritam divided by 3. Saptadhikam, so plus 7. Dvisangunitam multiplied. So adhimasa sheshatulyam. So that itself is x. So what you get? So is, so this is an example of Ekavarna Samikarana. So one more for Anekavarna. See, in fact this is second order of Ekavarna. So that is first order. Here again he says Adhimasa Shesha Padat. So Pada is 1/4. So Adhimasa Shesha Padat. So Triunat minus 3. Vargaha square. Adhimasa Sheshas Samam it should be. So this is what it is. Avamasheshataha va avamasheshasamaha kada bhavati. So how will you get? So again we have a sort of quadratic, and for which the solution is this. So one will choose 36. So that is from certain other considerations. Now I discussed this Anekavarna. So you have two variables. So we started with Ekavarna Samikarana, linear quadratic. Now Anekavarna Samikarana. So this again I just illustrate with one example. Gata bhagana yutat dyuganat tachhesha yutat tadaikya sanyutat tadyogat dyugunam va yah kathayati kuttakajnyas saha. So this problem will boil down to sort of kuttaka, but then so it is presented in a context of finding the number of revolutions made by a planet in a given period, and hence getting longitude. So here, so that is how it is posed. Suppose you have a very large period, and this large period you call it civil days. So in fact Brahmagupta considers a period of kalpa. So kalpa is 1000 times Mahayuga, 1000 times 43,20,000 years. So he presents huge numbers. So what is the number of revolutions made by planet in this large period? So that is how he goes about computing the planetary positions. So suppose n comma a refer to the number of revolutions made by the planet in the total number of days in a kalpa. So if n prime refers to the fraction of revolutions in a certain period called ahargana. So ahargana is basically the count of days. You start at a given period. So in this period this was the position, from this, so in ahargana, so how many number of revolutions have been made? It could be a fractional number. So obviously by rule of 3 you will get n prime is a times n by a. So this will be having an integer part and a fraction. So you try to express it as this, where n refers to the integral number of revolutions. Okay. So this is x by a, and you add a on both sides and you get an equation of this form. So this is a Kuttakara problem. So if one is able to get, so then he says he is a Kuttakajna. Then Bhavita problem. So Bhavita, as I was mentioning, refers to the product of two unknowns. Here he lays down the rule first, bhavitaka rupa gunana sa avyaktavadha ishtabhajita ishtaptyoho alpe adhikaha adhike alpaha kshepyaha bhavita hrtau vyastam. So suppose we have an equation of this form. So where this coefficient of the product of xy is referred to as bhavita. So recall the term rupa refers to the constant. So what he says is bhavitaka rupa gunana, gunana is multiplication, take product of a and d. So bhavitaka rupa gunana, so avyakta vadha. So here x is avyakta, y is also avyakta, and the coefficients are also referred to as avyaktas. So avyakta vadha is product of avyaktas, so b and c. So then what is to be done? See, if you look at the first half of the verse, bhavitaka rupa gunana, so avyakta vadha bc, ishta bhajita, so means divided by ishta. See, the point is, so you want to find out solution, so the prescription is the following. So you take the coefficients which are known, so take the product and divide by some number ishta. Okay. Ishta aptyoho, apti means whatever you get as the quotient. So ishta aptyoho of the two numbers q and m. So adhike alpaha alpe adhikaha, so that is what he is saying. So you have to basically add this to this and this to this. So q and c have to be added to b and c. So depending upon which is smaller and which is larger, and bhavita hrtau. So if you divide by a, you will get the required x and y. So basically the principle that goes is the following. See, so if you look at this, see x is, so finally c plus m by a and y is b plus q by a, or it is the other way. So depending upon how you choose. See, basically this problem can be rewritten in this way, and once you rewrite, you get an equation of this form, and this he writes it as, so q times m. So this is all he does, and then so basically adding, you will get your x and y. So an example, so he says bhanoho rashyamsha vadhat trichadar gunitat vishodhya rashyamsan. So navatim drishtva suryam kurvan avatsarat ganakaha. So this phrase avatsarat ganakaha is an interesting phrase. Ganakaha means a mathematician. So avatsara, you know what? Ang maryada vidyo. So this is how the sutra goes. If you have a, so avatsarat. So even if a fellow were to do this problem for 1 year and if he completes, then I would call him mathematician. So it is in this sense, I mean the kind of exuberant statement when algebra was in its initial phase. So this is how in most of the examples he says avatsarat ganakaha. Anyway, what he says is bhanoho rashyamsha vadhat. So bhanoho, rashi refers to 30-degree segment, amsha is degrees. So 30 degree is called as rashis, amsha is degrees. So bhanoho related to sun, rashyamsha vadhat. So these are the two quantities x and y. So one is rashi, y is amsha. Okay, rashyamsha vadhat. So xy, take the product. Trichatur gunitan vishodhya rashyamsan. See, so trichatuhu. So 3 and 4 gunitan multiplied. One is rashi, the other is amsha. Vishodhya having subtracted navatim. So this is equal to 90. Now from this you have to obtain what is the actual position. Okay, so that is what he says. Suryam kurvan. If one is able to tell what sun is, so then this is the problem, and one can show that one gets x is 10 and y is 20. So this is an example of bhavita problem. Now I come to the most important part of this chapter, so which is almost the last 30 verses. The first 30 verses were Kuttaka. So and then we had this dealing with surds and then operations and then Ekavarna Samikarana, Anekavarna Samikarana, Bhavita. Then he goes on to Varga Prakriti. So, Varga Prakriti refers to the second order indeterminate equation. So, an equation of this form is known as Varga Prakriti. So, x square minus dy square. So, given d and k, so we need to find x and y, so which are integers. So, later Bhaskara has very clearly stated the terminology. So, Jyeshtha Moola, Kanishta Moola, but Brahmagupta does not call them as Jyeshtha and Kanishta in the verses which prescribe this, but we just take it, this will be convenient when we see Bhaskara also later during the lectures later. So, here so this problem gives rise to this kind of inequality. So, the one can show that this one of the motivations of solving this problem is to obtain the value of root d. So, successive approximations of root d can be obtained using the Bhavana principle which has been given by Brahmagupta. So, we will demonstrate with a few examples, but then so just keep this in mind. So, this is an inequality which will be satisfied root d. See, you can see that if x and y are large and suppose k is equal to 1, so then so immediately you can get as a first approximation. So, root d is equal to so y by x, okay. So, x by y, root d is x by y. So, this straight away you will get this. So, root d minus x by y is less than 1 by 2 xy, and that is less than 1 by 2 y square. In fact, we will show little later or perhaps in the next lecture that the approximation which has been given for root 2 in the Sulva Sutra text, so which we discussed much earlier. So, this approximation which was given can be straight away obtained using this. So, this is not to mention that this was the approach taken by Sulvakaras, but it is a very interesting way of obtaining this approximation. So, this set of verses basically describe three important things. So, one is defining the Varga Prakriti equation, and then so defining the second and the third line actually give the Bhavana principle, and of course, a special case in the third when k is equal to 1. The fourth line basically gives that. So, let us try to understand the terms employed in this verse. So, in fact, if we consider x1 by 1 and x2 by 2 which satisfy equations with this kshepas, k1 k2 are called as kshepas. See, so d is called prakriti, k is called kshepa. Suppose you have an equation which satisfies this. So, given d and k1 you obtain x1 y1. So, given d and k2 you obtain x2 y2. So, we have these two equations. Then, so what is stated here is, so this equation will be satisfied, and that is what has been stated in the second and third lines which you find here. See, Adyavadhaha gunaka gunaha. So, in fact, Brahmagupta here uses the word gunaka, and guna is multiplication, gunaka guna. So, this prakriti is the word which has been generally used, and here he has used the word gunaka to refer to d. So, adya here refers to this y1 by 2, okay. So, we have two equations. So, y1 is also adya and y2 is also adya. Adya vadha refers to the product of y1 and y2, the product of y1 and y2 multiplied by gunaka. So, this is the equation which has been stated. So, d times y1 by 2 saha antya ghatena. So, y is referred to as adya and x is referred to as antya. So, antya ghata is product of antyas. So, x1 x2. So, saha means added to that, see. So, x1 x2 plus dy 1 by 2. Then he says vajra vadhaikyam. This vajra vadha basically refers to cross multiplication. Suppose you have two equations x1 by 2 y2 x1, this is referred to as vajra vadha. So that is what he says. Vajravadhaikyam. So prathamam prakshepaha kshepavadhatulyaha. So he also kshepa, see K1 and K2. Kshepavadha is product of that. So this equation is satisfied. So this one can straight away see. This is what is basically Bhavana principle. Fine. So having stated the Bhavana principle, then you take a particular case. So suppose you have x1 is equal to x2, y1 is equal to y2. So which means you are doing Bhavana of the same equation with itself. So if you do that, then you will get an equation of this form, and that is what is stated here. And if one finds a solution to this, see, suppose you find one solution which satisfies this equation, x square minus dy square is equal to 1, then by Bhavana principle, see what is most important to understand here is, by employing this Bhavana principle, you can move from xy to x square plus dy square and 2xy. So if one solution xy is known, so then all that Brahmagupta has proved is, so you have this, if you do this also satisfies this equation, and as a particular case what one gets is 2xy and x square plus dy square, and you get infinite number of solutions. So this is the most important aspect of Bhavana principle, and using this principle one will be able to get successive values of root d. Brahmagupta also presents some other cases wherein k is minus 1, plus minus 2, plus minus 4. So all that has been stated by Brahmagupta. Here, so this will be straightforward in certain examples. So you can simply guess x and y such that this equation is satisfied, and once you know one solution, then you can keep on generating infinite number of solutions by using this Bhavana principle. So if you do not, so if while solving a certain problem, in fact which will be discussed in great detail by Professor Srinivas later, so if at a certain case, certain stage of the problem, so you get k is equal to minus 1 plus minus 2 plus minus 4, then also you will be immediately able to solve the problem, and these particular cases have been stated down, what will be the xy values, so have also been laid down by Brahmagupta. I take a couple of more minutes so to present an example of this Bhavana principle, so which has been given by Brahmagupta himself. So after stating this Moolam Dvidheshta Vargat Gunaka Gunat Ishtayuta Vihinacha. So this is how the section on Varga Prakriti commences. Okay. Prakriti is the word which refers to D, but Brahmagupta uses the word Gunaka here, and this has been said as Varga Prakriti. So Bhaskara's verses, they use the word Prakriti. So it is Varga is basically the second order equation, so square, and therefore it is referred to as Varga Prakriti. After presenting this, what is Varga Prakriti equation and what is Bhavana principle and this particular case. So and then, so how to find out, so even when k is not equal to 1, immediately jump into the solution. So after presenting what are the values of x1 y1, so which will lead you to the solution. So he takes a example. Rashikala Sheshakritim Dinavati Gunitam Treshiti Gunitam Va Saikam Nyadine Vargam Kurvan Avatsarad Ganakaha. Rashi Kala. So Rashi refers to 30 degrees and Kala is seconds. So Kala refers to seconds, Kala is minutes, Vikala is seconds. So Rashi, Amsha, Kala, Vikala. So this is how it goes, 30 degrees, degree, minutes and seconds. So Rashi Kala Shesha Kritim. See, Kriti is used to refer to square here. So, Kriti, so we will have instance to discuss on this later when we discuss this Bakshali manuscript also. So, in colloquial language, Kriti actually refers to one's own work. See, our Dikshitar Kriti, when you say composition of Dikshita. Okay. So, Kriti mostly it is used to refer to square in many of these mathematical texts, and Rashi Kala Shesha Kritim. So, Kriti square of, so two things, one is Rashi, the other is Kala. Okay. Dvinavati Gunitam, Dvinavati is 92, okay. Kala Shesha Kritim Dvinavati Gunitam, or Treshiti Gunitam Va, you can take D to be 83. So, either 92 or 83. Saikam, so that quantity K is 1. Okay. So, Nyadine Vargam Kurvan Avatsarat Ganakaha. See. So, let us take first equation, and here, so you can straight away see that 10 and 1. So, x is 10 and y is 1, you will get 8. So, now use the Bhavana. So, recall, so according to Bhavana principle, so if x y is a solution, then x square plus dy square and 2xy is also a solution. So, this is the Bhavana principle, straight away you can find out and convince yourself that. So, here, so 10 square plus 92 into 1 square, so this is the new x and this is the new y. Okay, 2xy, 2 times xy. So, this moves to this, also is a solution, and if you do this and then you divide both these sides by 64, you get an equation of this form. Here D is 92, that is what the example that we are doing. So, 24 square minus 92 into 5 by 2 square, so is equal to 1. So, this is like x square minus dy square is equal to 1. So, once again do the Bhavana, x goes to x square plus d times y square, so that is what it is, and y goes to 2xy, 2 times xy, and you have this equation. So, in the other problem, so this you have basically reduced this, and you can further keep on doing, and all these will basically give you better and better approximations to root d. So, 1151 by 120 will be an approximate value of 92, root d, root of 92 will be this ratio. If you do Bhavana once more with itself, so you will get better and better approximations. Similarly, so if you choose the d equals 83, so then you have straight away you can see that. So, it is not necessary that k has to be always positive, so you can choose anything, and so we get 9 square minus 83 into 1 is minus 2, and doing Bhavana of this with itself, so gives you this. So, which when you divide by 2, so actually 2 square, so you can divide and you will get an equation of this form. So, this is x square minus d times y square is 1 straight away. So, you can keep on doing Bhavana, and you will be able to get better and better approximations for root d. So, with this we stop our discussion on Brahmagupta. We will continue with 1 or 2 more examples, and then we will proceed to Bakshali manuscript in the next lecture. Thank you.